Not long ago, there was a name buzzing around Berea, one that sparked imaginations and divided opinions like few others in this year's NFL draft cycle. And now, that conversation has taken an unexpected turn. I'll tell you all about it, so hit the like button and let's get to the news. If you've been following the Browns' pre-draft conversations, you know this. What once seemed like destiny now hangs by a thread of doubt, suspense, and possibly ownership interference. Let's rewind. At one point this offseason, Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion Sanders, was heavily tipped for the Cleveland Browns. Some analysts even pegged him as the potential second overall pick. The buzz was real, the intrigue off the charts. His name was everywhere, but with the combine coming and going, so was the momentum. And now, that budding romance between the Browns and Shedeur has cooled significantly. In fact, there's a plot twist that may not only surprise you, but completely change how you think the Browns are approaching this draft. According to Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated, Sanders' draft stock has dropped precipitously. We're not just talking a small slide, we're talking about a quarterback many now believe won't even sniff the top 10. Raiders, Jets, Saints, teams once believed to be potential homes for Shedeur are reportedly out of the conversation. And here's the bombshell. More than one insider has suggested that the only way Shedeur gets picked in the first round is if an owner steps in and says, "Make it happen." Let that marinate for a second. Because if you know Jimmy Haslam, the Browns owner, you know he's not exactly known for being a hands-off guy. This is the same man who, once upon a time, took advice from a homeless man to draft Johnny Manziel in the first round. Yes, that happened. And while it's fair to say Haslam has matured since then, let's not forget what's at stake right now. A brand new stadium, a multi-billion-dollar investment, and a desperate need to sell tickets, jerseys, and hope to the Dawg Pound. And what sells faster than hope in the form of a new quarterback? Nothing. So maybe, just maybe, that's where Haslam could step in. Not necessarily at pick number 2, but don't rule out a move back into the first round. That's where this entire debate heats up. Because here's the paradox the Browns find themselves trapped in. Do you like Shedeur enough to take him with the second overall pick? No? Okay, then why on earth would you give up future draft capital to grab him later in the first round? That's the riddle. That's the dilemma. If he's your guy, you don't hesitate. You don't play games. You take him. But if you're hesitant at 2, what makes him more appealing at 26? Is it just the illusion of value? There's no wait and see when it comes to franchise quarterbacks. You don't roll the dice and hope he slides past the Saints at number 9 or the Steelers at number 21. Because chances are he won't. So if you're all in on Shedeur, go all in. Don't toe the line. Don't hedge your bets. Commit. Or move on. But let's talk about the real football stuff, because there's a reason his stock is falling. Shedeur Sanders has a pedigree that's undeniable. He's 6 feet 1 inch, 212 pounds, and carries the name of one of the most electrifying athletes in sports history. But here's the kicker, the biggest red flag surrounding Shedeur? He's not athletic enough. Let that sink in. Deion Sanders' son is being critiqued for a lack of athleticism. It's baffling, but it's also backed up by tape. Shedeur took 99 sacks over 2 seasons. Sure, some of that is on Colorado's offensive line, but it's also about his instincts. When pressure arrives, Shedeur retreats. And in college, you might get away with that. In the NFL? Not so much. Retreating against edge rushers like Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons is a recipe for disaster. You don't want to go from 2nd and 8 to 2nd and 23. That's the kind of thing that kills drives, kills games, and eventually kills seasons. This is where we ask the uncomfortable question, is Shedeur Sanders built for the NFL? There's no question about his toughness or leadership. But the skill set? That's murkier. He's got a good arm, but not a great one. He can move, but not in a way that terrifies defenses. And his pocket presence? Inconsistent, at best. He needs time, development, and probably a redshirt rookie season. Which brings us to the idea that maybe, just maybe, the Browns have someone else in mind. Enter Jackson Dart. A USC transfer turned Ole Miss standout, Dart has quietly emerged as a real candidate for Cleveland. He's not a perfect prospect, far from it. But he offers something Shedeur doesn't, a natural feel for climbing the pocket. When pressure comes, Dart doesn't run backward, he steps up. That may sound small, but in the NFL, that's huge. The Browns are reportedly very intrigued by Dart, and it's easy to see why. He broke records at Ole Miss, won games, and showed traits that Kevin Stefanski's system could potentially unlock. He's also a lot cheaper to acquire. Rather than giving up valuable picks to move into the first round, the Browns could snag Dart in the second, or maybe even early third, without mortgaging their future. But Dart isn't without his problems. That game in Florida? Brutal. 2 interceptions on consecutive plays with a playoff berth on the line. And that's the kind of moment scouts remember. You want your quarterback to excel when the pressure is on, and Dart didn't. But the mistakes he made? Fixable. Decision-making, pre-snap reads, post-snap processing, all of that can be coached. And that's the big difference here. With Shedeur, you're investing in pedigree and projection. With Dart, you're investing in development and value. And right now, the Browns may not have the luxury of taking that chance. They need a guy who can learn from Joe Flacco, absorb a year's worth of knowledge, and step up when the time is right. So here's where we are, Browns fans. The initial love for Shedeur Sanders? Fading. The possibility of trading back to the first round for him? Still alive, but now it raises big questions. And Jackson Dart? Quietly rising. Quietly positioning himself as the most logical and strategic choice for a team that desperately needs to decide who its next quarterback will be. And this is where it all comes to a head. The Browns aren't just navigating a draft board, they're navigating legacy, pressure, and the weight of a fan base that has seen too many quarterback experiments fail. Shedeur Sanders brings buzz, no doubt. He sells jerseys. He excites. But Jackson Dart? He could be the one who wins games. That's the deeper layer here. The Browns aren't just deciding between 2 prospects, they're deciding what kind of team they want to be. Flashy, high risk with Sanders? Or methodical, development-focused, long-term with Dart? Because whoever this pick is, it has to work. There's no room for error at quarterback anymore. Not in this window. Not with this roster. And if the front office truly believes in Shedeur, the only option is to take him at number 2. If not, then walking away is the smart move. Trading up later just to chase a 5th-year option on a player you weren't even fully sold on? That's not smart football. That's panic. But if Jackson Dart is there in the second round, and you believe he can be molded into something special, then build your bridge. Let Flacco guide him. Let the coaching staff do the work. And when his moment comes, let him earn it. No rush. No spotlight too soon. Just the right developmental arc. So, Dawg Pound, the buzz around Shedeur, the strategic interest in Dart, and the ownership influence that could shake everything up. But now it's your turn. Should the Browns take a chance on Sanders? Or go long-term with Dart? Like if you're excited for this draft, subscribe for more exclusive Browns news, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Go Falcons!